Okay, let's make a tag. And it's double-sided. Either print it double-sided on cardstock or plain paper and then glue two sides together. Measurements will be on the blog. I've also printed out one of the mermaids. I believe I did that. Was that a reduced size or regular size? It might have been a regular size. I don't remember. These I printed out and I changed the size. I'm sorry, I can't tell you how to change the size on your printer. And I've got stuff on the back just in case, and likewise I've reduced these by a lot. I think I don't remember. So, and they've all been inked around with Distress ink in Scorched Timber. Okay, well, that was enough of that tick, tick, tick and the extra loud sounds that happen when you're shuffling around on your desk with these here video cameras. Anyway, let's do some heat embossing, y'all. I have that there Ranger Emboss It pen. It's got the clear embossing ink in there. And I'm just going over the design on the back side of our mermaid. And I think I'm using kaleidoscope embossing powder. There's a list of ingredients in the description below the video. Oh, there's also a rotating schedule of sorts for this design team. And I will do my best to list that on my community page and here in the description box as well. So we will get a flip through of the digitals and all these little items shortly. But first we need to heat-gun, y'all, so we can melt that embossing powder. Yeah. Oh, nice, nice, nice. I wanted her eye, because her eyes are closed, and I wanted to make it just a little bit darker, so I'm just going over it with the pencil. I think most often I print on Save Ink because I'm cheap like that. And here we've got our mermaid's going to go on our tag, and she's going to be a pocket. So we're going to glue just the one edge, y'all. And I'm gluing all the way down, and I'm like, no, 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 don't put the glue on that skinny part of the tail, because I'm going to add a turtle to it on the other side, which I should have added first, but you know, I didn't, because sometimes I do things backwards. And so we're going to glue her on there. Art glitter glue, no glitter in it. Sticking her down, gonna put some weight on her, because you know, sometimes we have to wait on stuff. And that was long enough. And here's our turtle. That's going to increase the little tuck spot there on that part of the tail, because or otherwise it would possibly just poke all the way through. We don't want to do that. So there's our turtle, and because I wasn't sure where it was going to be touching on her tail, I waited to add the glue to that, and then we will wait on that too. Just pretty much like that. And I have a little tiny black diamond I'm going to put on the turtle's eye. It's a little big, but you know, it's okay. It's okay. We will add a white spark of life to that in a little bit with a white Posca pen. I'm not sure I filmed that part. And here's where I decided I wanted to add some of these here bubbles to the background. And we're also going to be heat embossing this, and I'm just going to use the regular Stampabilities embossing ink. I'm going to mask that off with just this little scrap of card that I had laying there, y'all. Here comes the ink. Oh, things rolling and falling around. Tippy tap, 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 tippy tap, tap, tappy tap, tap, tippy, tippy, tippy. I'm going to speed up. Portions of the video are sped up, although not everything is. Just saying. And for this one, I'm using holographic, and from what I understand, the longer you heat it, it will go through like 2 or 3 different color changes. I've not actually experienced that ability myself, but I'm not saying it's not possible. And in the end, the only way you can really see this part, these bubbles, is when you turn it just right and the light catches it, which makes it an interactive tag, you know. So we're going interactive doubly. And anyway, it does not show up on the photos, and I don't think you can see it at all in the video. Okay? Hickin', y'all. Melting that powder that you can't see. Can't see the magic. I try real hard to do better on my wordiness. Okay, for this session of design team. Okay, y'all. This gives you a head start, y'all, on Mermaid that comes up in May. You know, I'll talk about that later. Or do I talk about it later? I don't know, because portions are voiced over and portions are not. Embossing powder, y'all. This one is very fine and very scattery. I think it came in a package from the charity shop. Okay, so got a hickin', y'all. And I try to show it, and you really can't see it. Now we're going to do the flip through of the digitals. Okay, this the digitals, the stamps, the stencils, and the washi stickers were provided to me by Bea, and I have to disclose that because it's the rules. And you can resize these on your printer, although I can't help you figure out how to do that because it's all dependent on your printer and the program you're using to print with, and yada yada, and too many F's, M's, or buts. But typically you can resize the images. You can print more than one to a page. I don't know how to do all that. You can print in a draft mode, which I typically do to save ink. You can print in full saturation if you want to. If you got them and your printer can do that, you can print on transparencies or vellum, or I don't know what all, y'all. And I'm just kind of pointing out that some of these things are very cuttable. They might be fussy cuttable, but they're cuttable. Now, I initially printed this set on just regular copy paper, so this is copy weight, and I just printed it single-sided. You can choose what you want to put on the back if you want to print anything on the back. For this first project, we're going to be doing cardstock. Look, there's cutter parts. You can model up your mermaids, and there's some black and white ones that you can colorize yourself in the manner of which you want to. Okay, or you can use it for templates too if you want to. I mean, you know, your project, your rules, right? Okay, now let's take a look at these luscious washi stickers, y'all. Oh my goodness, they are so nice. Just saying. We've got like seaweed and kelp and I don't know what all, and we have that's a solid piece. You can use as a solid piece or cut it down into strips, which is what I did. Okay, so now we have the stamps. Look at this totally adorable little stamp set, y'all. There's some kelp or seaweed, starfish, some funny fishes, some bubbles, some seines, and here are the stencils. One is called Coral and one is called Wave, and then I got a third stencil which was called Marks 1. Love them all. Just saying. I don't think I'm using any of them in this particular first project, although I've already used some of them. Okay. Anyway, so the mermaid, you know, blends in quite a lot into the background, so I thought I would go around her and shadow her and the turtle there. And I'm using a Stabilo All and a water brush pen. Now I have a brown, a black, and a blue. I might have a yellow one as well, of the Stabilo All pencil. And I chose to go with blue, even though when you go blue over a yellow ink, you know, it's printed, got some yellow in it, it's going to be a little greenish. That's okay. All right. Perfection is not the name, my middle name, not the name of me. It's not the middle name of me. That's for shizzles. So I'm just going around the whole thing. I have sped it up quite a bit because who wants to watch me do that in real time? I don't. Just saying, because I don't. But I also know y'all like to see it. Don't think I necessarily cut anything out. I did not show me fussy cutting those little bits and pops out. I did not show me inking around it with the Scorched Timber, but yet I did. Okay, that's what I did. And the tags I printed out, there's like 6 tags on that one page, and I've reduced them quite a bit. I think I even went down to like, I don't know what I went down to, y'all. I printed them pretty small, and that's exactly what I wanted. So now I'm going to use a starfish. Now these are cardstock, y'all, as a whole reinforcer. You can do that if you want to. So I've kind of centered it up. I typically eyeball, but for some reason I got the ruler out, and gonna lay this starfish and that starfish on there, and I'm like, no. So we're just gonna go with what we got on there, what we're gonna go with. Now here's my little handheld crocodile. I'm going to use the larger hole because I thought I want to put the velvet ribbon on there. So I've got little angle cuts on the end, and velvet will sometimes spray out, or you know, whatever. Lots of ribbons will do that. So I'm just adding just teeny tiny drizzles of the art glitter glue to just seal that end, both ends. And just advance notice, I will trim these down later and will reseal the little ends, although you don't get to see that part because you don't get to. And I'm like, do I want to loop it through there? I should have waited for it to be dry, but that's okay. Like I said, I'm going to retrim them, make them a little shorter anyway. You know, I tend to go really long on the floofles. And I thought, well, let's see what it looks like tied. And this is, the color of this velvet ribbon said it was navy. It's pretty though. It's like, you know, a perfect color. And I'm also going to use some embroidery floss. I'm going to tie that around the 2 velvet loops, okay? Or you can glue them together. You can staple them together. You don't have to put them in there at all. You do not have to put, there's no law that says you have to put a floofle on top of a tag. Also called tag toppers, but you know, I'm special and like to call them floofles. So now I'm going to take our embroidery floss, which is a 6 thread strand, and I'm going to unravel it because they're like twisted together sort of, and I'm just gonna, you know, untwist them and separate them out into the 6 individual strands for each of the threads we have tied on there. Okay, and those little tags that I'm going to use later, I will also use the same embroidery floss and essentially unravel those bits too. Okay, they're much smaller tags, so they've got much smaller floofles. Right. Now I don't show that with the tags, but you know, Bea already made them. I'll just cut them out, reduced them and cut them out. So now I've taken that 1 sentiment, which is, it's tiny words, but it's, you know, kind of a long sentiment, and I cut it apart. I know, I'm a bad crafter. I cut up stuff. That's what I do. Don't do it if you don't want to, because, you know, there's no law that you have to. So I cut it apart, and I'm putting 1 part down there in the lower left-hand corner. Oh, let's ink it. So you do get to see me ink with Scorched Timber. It's like my favorite, y'all. Anywho, so I'll be glad when I get it in an archival. Maybe they do. I don't know. So we're going to glue this on. And then I'm going to take a different part of the same sentiment, okay, because it's a progressive little sentiment. And we're going to add that to one of the tags, which apparently I already did. And then I was just adding that spark of life white dot to the turtle's eye. I don't know how well you can see it. And here are our little tiny tags. They're double-sided. It gives you a fair amount to space to journal on, should you happen to do that kind of thing. And there's a little more room behind that little mermaid in that little tuck spot. You can add more papers if you want to. Ta-da! Photo montage. Don't forget, there's a blog post, and the link to that website is in the description below. There you will find on Wednesdays, not just me, but other design team members with their projects and blog posts. Okay? Okay. Thanks for watching. And until next time, happy arting,